Alright everyone, it's fun to see the ironic shitposting about how Billie Eilish's endorsement is going to tip the scales in favor of Biden or something. I figured I'd make a video on the subject of celebrity endorsements to notify people of the very real, easy, logical reason why they really don't matter. Like you saw in 2016, Hillary Clinton lost. She was endorsed by 99% of Hollywood. They even got together and made a like We Are the World style fucking video, which is really cringy, where they're like, oh please, we must stop hate, we must stop Orange Man, he's evil. Hillary Clinton, did you break the glass ceiling? She's such a great person, you know, she makes us a lot of money, and she still lost. And the reason for that is this. Celeb war, in the sense of like, let's use the example of Billie Eilish, who, by the way, I actually like some of her songs, but you gotta understand, when people are that young, they tend to be more liberal. Like, when I was that age, I know I was. So, you gotta keep that in mind. Politics change over time, so do paradigms. That's why people who were edgy 20 years ago often are regarded as sellouts today by people that are actually edgy in the here and now, because what is edgy, of course, changes rapidly over time. Think about the demographics of people that tend to absorb content on any high level from this individual. I don't mean just like, oh, they sort of bop their head to the music on the radio. I mean, they're buying her CDs or something like that. Or do they even make those anymore? Buying her Victrola albums, says Joe Biden. I wonder how many sniffs he took at the DNC convention in the back room. But anyway, getting off of that unfortunate topic of Biden and his odd proclivities, think about the demographic. It's people too young to vote, so it doesn't matter what they think about politics. They're going to be wildly against Trump anyway. I don't think that they like Biden any more than they like Trump, though. I think most of them would be like, they might like hippie grandma Jill Stein more than anybody else. They're either too young to vote, or they're old enough to vote, but they're in that demographic that's so wildly left-leaning already that the endorsement means nothing. There's no minds to change. It's like 80% for Biden anyway. So a celebrity endorsement from someone who specifically appeals to the younger crowd has to be meaningless. It would be like if Ted Nugent is endorsing someone for the Republican Party, while the average person who's listening to Ted Nugent is in the older generation, and probably already has those views. They're going to tilt heavily towards Trump anyway. The endorsement's meaningless. It's just part of the extended echo chamber that we see with people online every single day. It doesn't ultimately matter. And think about people, in general, celebrities. Celebrity worship, if you are a big-time fan and really care what one of those celebrities says, you probably already are in line with their political views. Otherwise, it would rankle you. And by the way, celebrity endorsements, some people are like, well, celebrities should shut up. No, they have the right to weigh in. It's just that I have the right to think that it's hilarious. Think about it this way. For instance, I'm a big-time fan of the Eurythmics, band from the 80s, Sweet Dreams, and all the other good shit. Annie Lennox is a big-time third waver. She is obviously a leftist. Peter Gabriel, again, from the most of my music, was there before I was born. Big-time leftist. I think he's a Green Party member over in the UK. Like the dude's music. Don't agree with the dude's politics. Who fucking gives a shit? He's a singer. Annie Lennox is a singer. Billie Eilish is a singer. When someone's acting in Hollywood, you can say, well, I like this actor, I like this actress, but it doesn't move the needle for you politically. If they happen to disagree with you, they do. If they agree with you, you do. It doesn't really change anyone's minds. That's a lot of the actions that people take in a political context ultimately are meaningless. They're just mental masturbation, basically. Even debating. There's a reason why I don't really bother to debate anymore, except on rare occasions, because it doesn't change anyone's mind. It's completely pointless. 90% of the people go into watching a debate, whether it's like on TV, on YouTube, wherever, DLive, they make up their minds before the debate even began. They like an ideology or the individual associating with it, and they liked them beforehand. They liked the ideology beforehand. There aren't many people that are paying attention to political hardball sort of debating or anything like that haven't already made up their mind. The number of people that are truly independent and non-biased is very, very small. Those voters are not going to be swayed by Billie Eilish telling them who to vote for. Vote like your life depended on it. By the way, yes, I will. I'll vote like I was one of those 500,000 lives lost in the Iraq War, in shock and awe and so forth, which was architectured by Colin Powell, who has endorsed Joe Biden. Or like some of the hundreds of thousands of people killed and enslaved in Libya, You know, that country ruined by Hillary Clinton's foreign policy. I'm beginning to think that there might be John Bolton, I'm sure, will be giving his endorsement any day now, but probably already did endorse Biden, a tacit endorsement. That's what I would say. It's not going to change my mind. It is kind of cringe because, like, you know, you get this person, it happens, I think, 19 years old or something like that, trying to tell people to vote. Life depends on it. Well, yours may not, because you're filthy rich. Wasn't it like album of the year for debut album there or something like that? How many millions of dollars do you think she's worth? Some tens of millions at least, I'm sure. Or Taylor Swift, it's like, okay, you've had hit after hit. How much fucking money do you have? And you're talking about how evil the billionaires are. You're not that far from it yourself unless you got one hell of a lavish lifestyle. I'm sure your bank account has a lot of zeros in it. You know, people who can buy and sell your entire hometown are trying to lecture you on how evil the billionaires are. It's always very funny. But it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to move the needle of the election. It's not. Do you honestly think that anyone who's really going to take a singer seriously, based on their political views, hasn't already made up their mind anyway that they support Biden? Again, it'd be like a Nugent endorsement of Trump. Okay, well, it's great. And the over 70 voting demographic that you appeal to most, when he goes up on stage, people throw their Depends undergarments up at him. They've already made up their mind. You're not changing anyone's mind. Most people fall into the football team mentality as well. They're either a Republican or a Democrat partisan within the United States political complex. Then there's a group that's just strictly third party, to the point of excluding ideology. It's just like football team politics. I see this among libertarians, so-called. The LP can completely ignore libertarianism and start talking about how it's good when Facebook polices hate speech, adulating that, applauding that, and they say, ooh, libertarianism, yay, I'm a libertarian. No, you're not a libertarian. You're an LP partisan. There's a difference. I'm a libertarian. That's why I won't be voting for the Libertarian Party in this election, because they're not standing for it at the moment. Hopefully they fucking get their head out of their ass at some point. Celebrity endorsements are bullshit. And it's always funny, and they tend, got to admit this too, they tend to lean heavily towards liberalism. Why? Because the Democratic Party has it in with all of their financiers and with their branding managers and through their contracts and so forth. That's just sort of the glitzy thing to do. The Democrats for a long time were the young party. They were the party of being fun and exciting. Now that's changing now because obviously the campaign that Biden's running, I don't know what's wrong with their tech team, but everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And so I have a feeling that they need more young people. And I have a feeling that there's an increased number of the youth that's actually leaning over towards Trump. You know, Gen Z so-based mythology aside. I think millennials are finally starting to wise up too. They're beginning to realize that the economic problems aren't actually the fault of evil orange man like everyone was initially saying. Remember when Krugman said there'd be a Great Depression if Trump was elected? He had to wait until a bunch of blue states decided to collapse their economies a few months before the election to try to stymie him. That's about all. Peace out.